You're tuned in to Community Conversations with the Trio, a weekly show that explores key topics in health, education, politics, and business. You can always find us on the web at cctrio.com or get connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. And now, your hosts, the Trio, Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Duff, on Community Conversations with the Trio.
The Trio on Community Conversations, broadcasting from beautiful Tampa, Florida. Dr. G, Sean D, and my main man, Michael Doug. We are here loving this weather in Tampa Bay, guys. What's up?
Hey, what's happening now? Been a minute since we've been back together over here.
More than a minute.
Yeah, but whose fault is that? Mr. PhD.
It's not my fault. I mean,
sending out messages. I will not be returning any phone calls.
I did say that.
Any visitors.
You're right. I did say that.
For the next 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So we're down to 5 weeks now. So you
don't take it personal.
Don't take it.
Wasn't there some travel in there as well? Didn't you guys go to
New Orleans? Yeah.
New Orleans. But Duff tried to eat up all the charred grilled oysters in there.
That was delicious.
Yeah, he tried to eat them all. Man, I was trying to stop him from going there again and again. But he was on a mission. He was on a mission.
We had a good time.
I don't know if you know, but he can eat. So
I did not eat, but we had a good time. And I think it was great to fellowship with the rest of the 100 Black Men of America. I was the Collegiate 100 from our Hillsborough Community College campus, one collegiate chapter of the year. And we're very happy to be there to see our young students get that recognition. Especially that, they had a very distinguished panel that was up there, the folks up there. So it was pretty cool.
Well, and MC Light was there too. I don't know if,
I got an interview with MC Light.
If you missed it, you can find it on the iTunes podcast or on our webpage or Spreaker page. As I put that everywhere.
Yeah, she looks fantastic too.
Who is MC Light?
What?
MC Light. She's paper thin. Who is she's an early hip hop artist. She was way back in the day.
She's one of the first women.
80s, late 80s, 90s. So that was definitely late 80s. So.
Her, Queen Latifah.
Yep.
They're the ones that started it all for women in rap.
MC Light. How do you spell the last name?
Lyte. Lyte. So Georgie Porgy is a big hit for her back in the day.
She's not too bad.
Not too bad at all. I think she's aged better, actually. She's gotten better over the years.
Plus back then, they weren't all the baggy clothes and
True that.
Trying to look more their male counterpart. She was in a nice gown and everything when we saw her.
Is there a song I might remember from MC Light?
Probably one up.
Not one I'm going to say right now, but she's well. I mean, I don't know if you would know it because I mean you were all about jazz. That was back in your jazz days. You were still in the beatnik phase or something. I don't know what you were
writing poetry.
Writing poetry. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm just trying to pull one up.
So
bad as I want to be. Act like ain't no other. Never heard of them.
Yeah, but Paper Thin, like I said, Paper Thin was one of the big ones.
She's also she was on the TV show.
Georgie Porgy, like I said, was probably some of the more like larger hits. But then if you're a hip hopper, then there was other.
Yeah, she was on a TV show as well. I can't think of the name of it though right now.
Sure, she did TV.
Yeah, she was the editor. On the show, she was an editor of some type of either it was a record label or album. I mean, a magazine. And it was one of those sitcoms. Kind of came and went.
In Living Color, she was on that. Moesha.
Okay, well, those probably were like guest appearances.
My Wife and Kids.
That's probably was a guest appearance too.
District. Let's see. Interesting. All right. You get an autograph?
Yeah. We got better than autographs, man. We got pictures and videos. legitimate videos, just nothing of that Lakeland style kind of thing.
I'm not the kind of girl to try to play a man out. I take the money and again then break the hell out. No, that's not my strategy.
That's favorite there right there.
Truly, when I get involved, I give it my heart. I mean, my mama sold my body. I mean,
MC Light. Well done, Dom. Well done.
That is MC Light.
Well, on that note,
well done. See, he wasn't. They didn't have that in Georgia. They didn't in Georgia, South Georgia. Mm-hmm. They were rocking. Actually, almost went Clarence Thomas on it.
Oh Lord! Well, guys, there are so many things happening in the news. It's unfortunately we had to take a little bit of time off, but we got to catch up. A lot of stuff. Number one topic, obviously, everybody's focused on the Trayvon Martin Zimmerman case. Mm-hmm. A lot been happening with that situation, and what's going on now is they have presented their star witness, the prosecution, their star witness, the young lady who was on the phone with Trayvon Martin at the time in which he was killed. So I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with it. It's I've not been watching the case. I've been working. Some people have to work.
Some people got to do it.
So I don't know what's been going on, guys.
Well, I know I've been. I won't say keeping up with it, but I kind of have no choice. Every time you turn on the radio or the XM radio or the news, they're giving you the highlights. I think that it's been focused now on, they've been trying to keep race out of it per se. Both lawyers for both sides have kind of said they want to reduce that and really focus on the actual event, regardless of race. However, it kind of came back up with the testimony of their star witness, Trayvon's girlfriend, that was on the phone at the time this was happening, and the fact that her demeanor, the way she presented herself, it's somehow characterized as being a factor, a teenage, as they said today on CNN, a plus-size, dark-skinned teenage black woman who may have not presented herself in a way that you would demonstrate as being, extremely articulate or educated, sometimes combative, and they've been trying to compare how's that impact.
But all you need to do is state the facts of what happened. That's what I'm totally confused.
That's what bothered me as well.
It doesn't matter who's stating it. It's the facts of what is to be stated.
That bothered me as well, is that the fact that regardless of her cultural background, all she could do is say what she knew. It shouldn't be, oh, well, look how she said it.
Yeah.
They were actually talking about, which I thought was ludicrous, the fact that she said no, sir, and yes, sir. I'm like,
so that's the topic.
I was like, wow, what does that have to do with what happened?
Mm-hmm. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to discredit her, hold in her credibility.
Yeah, discredit her, which it doesn't make any sense because her facts that she adds
that's the job
of the biased as you think they would be. They're not biased. She just said that's what he said on the phone.
That's what I'm saying. This is what he's saying. It was what I'm saying. So that's and I heard him talking. So again, the defense is all about that's their job. I mean, they've got to really take the onus off of the truth of the matter that Zimmerman stalked him down, got his ass whipped, and then ended up shooting him. Shoot him and kill him. That's pretty much that's A, B, and C. The end of story, right? But in order to get beyond, to try to make it more of a sympathetic trial, they've got to get the attention off of the facts, right? So, I mean, I watch CSI and Law and Order, Law and Orders and stuff. That's what they try to do. The job is not necessarily to tell the truth on the defense; it's to get their side, get the diverted, the diversion of everything.
That's what really scared me. The only thing that scared me about watching the trial that it was theater. It's not about
the dude started with a knock joke.
Yeah, it's like who can because they keep talking about convincing the jury of this, convincing the jury of that. And I said, wait a minute, what do you mean convince? If people are just stating facts, then they're going to convince themselves when the facts come together. But no, it's the way they present themselves. I really was concerned about that, because if you just look at the key facts, this boy was walking home, regardless of what we thought he was doing. That man followed him with a gun. I mean, think about it. You say that. You say it like that. He was walking home. This man followed him with a gun. If I just say that to you, you'd be like, that's a problem already. I mean, that's already a concern. Why are you following a child? Remember, a grown man following a child with a gun. Already, we'd already be leaning towards this guy's going to jail. Then there's a confrontation. Regardless if the child presented the confrontation, he's being followed. Why shouldn't he confront you and go, why are you following me?
Right.
Then whatever happens, he hit first. I would say, well, you were following him. What should he do? Just because you're an adult, just let you. I mean, that's how kids get taken, and then you shoot him. You gotta go to jail, man. I don't see it. And then
I hear you, though.
And then what makes it so bad today? They talked about the neighbor that actually you hear the gunshot on her 911 call, and you hear the screaming. No one, and even CNN didn't even bring this up. I'm not sure if I may be missing something, but they said that Trayvon Martin was on the ground and Zimmerman was on top of him.
But I have a question for you guys.
Yeah, I remember that part.
I have a question for you guys. So you have a son. Let's say we all have a son, and our son is in that same situation that Trayvon Martin was in. What would you advise him to do if he's walking through the neighborhood? Some guy from the neighborhood confronts him and asks him. He might be following him, but he get to him. He asks, dude, what are you doing in the neighborhood? Da da da. What do you advise your son to do? Because what they're trying to say is that Trayvon Martin was an aggressor in this situation. That he may have. I mean, I'm just saying. Do you submit yourself to this guy and say, "I'm sorry, whatever. I'll wait here. Call the police." And and you find out, that I have a father who's right down the street. My house is right down the street. I'm just right here. Do you advise him to be aggressive? Probably not.
No, I wouldn't advise him to be aggressive. I would advise him, and I admit my concern, and maybe why I would not is, put Zimmerman like under the jail, if you will. Right. But I'd still put him in jail. It's like, why are you on the phone with your girlfriend who's in Miami? Some guy's following you. Your dad is a block away. You hang up the phone and you call your dad and say, hey, you need to come outside. There's a problem out here. Yeah. That's what I advise. If you have the means, you call me. Let me, at least as a parent, have an option to either advise you or come participate in whatever's about to go down. You're not on the phone talking with your girlfriend. Are you crazy? So, but would I advise anybody, confronting someone not that close to home? Yeah. But if he was,
and then you flip it the other way, Zimmerman. I mean, what the heck? The 911 person said, "Don't follow him. We'll call the police." So on both sides, there were terrible mistakes that were made. Right. As an adult. And I know they said, we had all these robberies in the community, Understand that. But if you've got your eye on somebody, you don't have to go up to this person and confront the person. I know he's the neighborhood cop or whatever.
Watchman.
So,
But, we said this before on the show. I forgot what we were talking about, but one of the things I learned many years ago when I worked at Kmart, and I see it in Walmart, is they have those greeters. I was thinking it was a way to give older American jobs, something like that. That's what you would think. But I said, what they found out is it's a security thing. They found that if someone's coming into the store to rob, and someone in that store just looks them in the eye and go, "Hey, how you doing?" Hello. It reduces crime, because now they know at least one person saw me, saw my face, spoke to me, saw what I was wearing. And sometimes even just the human interaction causes them to be less likely to do anything. That being said, it goes back to your point. I see you. Trayvon saw him. They see each other. If he was going to do anything, he probably would have changed his mind.
Right.
Because he knows at least somebody saw me, so what I was wearing, so what direction I was coming from. If I do something now, an alarm goes off, a car alarm goes off, whatever, I'm the first person they're going to pick up. So Trayvon would have turned around and walked away. But he didn't. And so the fact that he didn't turn around and walk away or go some other direction, I think as Zimmerman being an adult should have had some common sense to know, okay, he probably does belong here somewhere. Yeah. Even though I don't like it, let's see where he belongs.
Yeah. And I think in this case, I talked about what Trayvon should have done, but I think the onus is on the adult here. The adult should have known better that this is not a situation that you escalate where you're going to go up to somebody who you think is there to rob your neighborhood. You don't go up to him and confront them. You do what he did. He called 911. You wait for the police to come. Maybe you keep some distance so you keep your eye on the kid, and then eventually you would follow him within a distance and see that the kid walks into a house that he belongs to. This should have never happened. That kid should have never died.
No, not at all. And I agree with you. If nothing else, as an adult, then you know what? Go ahead and confront him. Excuse me, I am Mr. Zimmerman. I'm Neighborhood Watch. I don't recognize you. What are you doing? And if whatever he says, my dad lives down the street. Where? And then you can call it. And then now you not only provide it, but then you say, I've already let him know who I was. He says dad lives here, but I still don't believe him. Then when the police come, they can deal with it. It's a problem, and he definitely should do some time. But it's always going to be the added extra, the race, and all the other pieces that the news is going to blow each way before this guy gets the justice that he really needs.
Well, there's more to play out. So I mean, this is early in the situation. So we'll see it as it rolls.
Yeah. So next show will be interesting to see what we're reporting about. Should be in there.
He's not the only one in trouble. Mr. Hernandez, man, what is going on? Let me sign a $20 million, $40 million contract, and let me go start shoot people.
Well,
what?
Yeah, that's. Some folks just don't need to have a gun. I mean, it's not that it's going to stop you from killing anybody, but wow. Yeah. I don't know the whole story. I don't know. I barely know part of the story, but I don't see where there's, unless he was being threatened, I don't see where there's.
No. Matter of fact, he had two other guys. He actually went and picked the guy up. Yeah, they got it. One thing about technology, y'all talk to me about technology, because he had his cell phone. Because he has his cell phone. They have everywhere he was that night, and Aaron Hernandez picked him, the guy that was murdered, up with two of his buddies. So there's no way that Hernandez was in danger. So that's out the window. There's no defense. It's 3 against 1. The guy seemed to know maybe something was going wrong, because he texted his sister, "Hey, I want you to know who I'm with." He texted basically, "I'm with."
So there's something else.
Something was known.
Rolling.
But I thought that text was really a situation where he was starstruck. Hey, you're not going to believe I'm with an NFL player. I didn't see that.
Nah, I think he would have said, "I'm with the Patriots," or "I'm with Aaron." If you starstruck, you wouldn't just say NFL.
Because he said...
That's kind of cold to me.
Because he said the first text was, "You're not going to believe who I'm with." And she didn't respond, and he emailed, or was it a tweet or
a text? It was text.
And said, "Hello." Wanted to have her respond, and she said, "With who?" And he said, "NFL."
Yeah, I thought that a little bit, but I said no, because he wouldn't have just said NFL. Because remember, he was the boyfriend of the sister's
friend or something. That I do know. Yeah, well,
she knew. So
he was the boyfriend of. His sister. I thought it was Aaron Hernandez's sister.
No, I thought
it was closely connected.
It was connected to this Aaron Hernandez's sister, but I don't think it was the sister. I think it was a friend of the sister, or the something of the sister. But regardless, I don't believe there was the starstruck. Well, I guess it could be, because let's just say, "Hey, Aaron Hernandez comes up. Hey, man, let's go party, man. I just got signed a big contract." So I can kind of see that. Regardless, it's that's worse than the Zimmerman. At least the Zimmerman, there was some conflict there to be resolved, and he just took it too far. This guy looks like he just murdered a guy.
Because if he had a chance to send a text message why wouldn't he send his sister a text message to say, "Hey, things don't look good. Call the police." I'm
Right. You good?
If they let him text,
Right.
if it's me, I'm texting somebody to say, "Hey, I'm in trouble. Somebody come get me."
Yeah,
or send some cues or something.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and the worst part is he had the story of growing up without I think his father was killed and
Hernandez.
and when he was young, and then he had some trouble at the University of Florida as well, but he obviously made it through. A star in the NFL. All accounts with Gronkowski. And now it's all gone. Because they released him, the Patriots released him. Yeah. So it's all gone. Even if somehow he gets off, it's all gone.
He's done.
It's all gone.
Which it's just hard to fathom that you have the world by the tail. You've got a great career. You're getting paid to play.
To play a game.
That how much was this contract?
I thought it was. Is it a
5-year, $40 million?
Yeah, I was about to say $40 million, but it was like $12 million signing bonus or something like that. Like he got $12 million off top, like in his hand, something like that.
And now he got Bubba and his boys who's gonna be after him every day when he in there taking that shower. They're gonna be tapping on him. Hey, Hernandez.
And what's worse, now the lawyers
I want you to be my bitch.
Yeah, you're right. That. I just don't. I've seen you see this time and time again, and not that I'm condoning any type of crime or anything like that. But let's just say for some reason you have a criminal mind or something, but you're rich like that. You got millions. Why are you doing anything? I probably wouldn't be driving. I was like, if I just had a problem with this guy, and my mind is unfortunately in that thing, I wouldn't even been nowhere near that guy. I'd have been in California. When whatever was going down was going down.
It's not even close.
Yeah, I'm like
the country.
When they not that it's going to save you, but you heard of the Valentine's Day massacre, right? The shooting. Well, they said Al Capone is one who did that. Well, Al Capone was in matter of fact, I think in St. Pete, Florida, when it happened. He wasn't nowhere. I'm not even in the state. Don't even come looking at me. So it just concerns me that we provide opportunities for folks that unfortunately misuse. I think that's an opportunity. That's a roster spot. That's a space that some college kid probably could have had that was going to do something with his life. And now we have this guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's the bad things going on. And real quick, a shout out to Mandela. I know he's hanging on in there, but that's going to end up an error. If he does succumb to this illness that he has, and what an amazing man.
Yeah, you went from Aaron Hernandez.
Well, I didn't want to forget because we have so much to talk about. I just wanted to quickly say that because we're talking about these kind of negative things.
Respect due. Yeah, give him some pause in between there. Don't clear them next to Aaron Hernandez. Give that man some respect there. But
I know the president is in Africa. Will he get a chance to go by and visit with his family?
They said that he offered to come by, but I believe the family said, go ahead and do whatever you were doing. But I believe there's been several offers that he would come by and visit him if they wanted him to. But
why would they not want him?
You being in part of Moffitt, you have a background in these kind of situations, in the sense that if he's truly on his deathbed, they don't let everybody in there, right? There's got to be family or whatever. You don't just come visit, even if you're the president of the United States.
Well,
they may.
I think they make exceptions.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, I would go if I was the president. I would at least go to the hospital outside, where the other people are singing and putting flowers and just show my respect.
Because he's right there. I can see if he was here.
Yeah.
And they may.
And maybe he'll do it. I would hope so.
I would hope so.
Because it was like one of his intentions is to see him.
Right.
To get to see.
Yeah, could you imagine meeting Mandela?
Yeah, I think he would get a ton of flack if he didn't make the effort to at least be there. Even more flack.
I don't understand, why doesn't he ever go to? I think he went once. But he doesn't go to Kenya. Where the rest of his family is.
Maybe he's trying to separate.
I don't know. Now I'll be like, well, I'm not going to be president again. I would go.
Oh, maybe that's why he's there, right?
Could you imagine? Been there since Obama in Kenya? They're the whole had to shut down the country.
I know.
the most prominent Kenyan in the history of Kenya.
So you saying he's not from America? Is that what you say?
No, I didn't say where he was from. I said what his background is.
The man is from here.
Yes, he's from. No,
I need to see his copy of his birth certificate live. I need to see it in person. Me and Donald Trump.
All right, Donald.
Oh man, I could care less. It doesn't matter.
There's nothing they can do now.
It's over now.
Nothing they can do now. Although he is having a rough time right about now.
Oh man,
Leaks.
what is up? Yeah, what's all this? And we got this guy.
Shit we got over there.
You know, I said this before on the show. I kind of miss. I don't want to go back because of my ethnic background to the 40s and 50s. But one thing about the government in the 40s and 50s, you cause some problems. You were taken care of. You
don't get to leave the country.
So a lot of people didn't cause problems back then because they know that something may befall you, something very unfortunate. This guy is in China. And then he goes to Russia.
I think they said he's. Was talking about it. He's in the airport. He's in the airport.
Supposedly.
Yeah, he's. Has the we were laughing about the Tom Hanks movie when he was
trapped in the airport. Yeah, because I was a real guy that was trapped in the airport in France. But
I bet that guy's not in the airport.
No, I don't believe that.
You think he's already bounced out somewhere?
No, they got him somewhere and dealing with him accordingly.
Maybe he's giving out you saying the U.S. has got him?
No, the Russians got him. Come on now. We forget, like I said, 40s, 50s, we would know that guy was toast. Right? We wouldn't even second guess. He's in Russia and he's American. He got all the facts. He's strung up somewhere because it's 2000. Those are kinder, gentler Russians. Are you crazy? Putin was KGB.
Yes,
he was KGB. Okay,
he's a bad boy.
Yeah. So that guy is.
He was maybe his administrative assistant.
He's in a whole lot of hurt right now. I can guarantee it. And when or if he ever gets out of there.
So you think they're pumping him from secrets right now?
Yep. I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt in my mind. He's divulging things that he don't even know. He's just making up stuff right now. He's making up stuff right now. Yeah,
it's the code of my 7th grade locker.
At least I think the Chinese probably be like, we got probably as much information about the United States as you think you got, because Chinese, they've probably been bugging us and they've been sending so much stuff over here, electronics and stuff. They probably listen to us right now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
The Russians, I don't think have been able to spend as much time. They like spies. Remember, they had all those spies that we sent back. They like the actual people, on the ground, because they can obviously blend in because they can look like Americans or what have you. Whereas Chinese, you got 10 Chinese guys living in the house. Mm-hmm. You're gonna go, what's going on? So I would imagine Russia's pumping him, and then and I don't know what Ecuador has to do with anything, but I would imagine that if he does make it to South America, we'll probably end up getting him back. He's lucky he's not divulging secrets to the Israelis, or he'd be dead right now. Because they don't play that. But it's unfortunate. Why couldn't he go to Congress? Why couldn't he go on to a New York Times?
I'm sure there's going to be a movie about it in a couple of years. So
why couldn't
maybe that'll come out that he did try to go this.
Good point.
Behind the scenes route. That he wasn't able to see. He wasn't able to see as far as just didn't see a way out, or didn't see that it was actually moving anywhere. Mm-hmm. So he figured, like I said, there's a couple of conspiracy theory movies that were that same idea. They went to certain people, it got squashed, they didn't go anywhere, and then they ended up going to the press, and they just don't tell us from me, but although this guy was like, oh yeah, it was me, raising his hand up there, so. Which that's not what I would have done. So
no, not at all.
I would have said, here it is, and I'm out of the country. So, it's it'll be interesting to see how long he actually, how long we even hear about him, kind of thing, right? So, I think he's not going to be a ghost.
I don't think so.
Soon. So
I think he's going to emerge big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You think he's going to emerge?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
We are drone strikes on other countries, right?
We are only...
He's not on U.S. soil, so it's
tipping the iceberg.
The drone strike.
That's only the tip of the iceberg. It's going to be crazy. Mark my word. What's the date? 28th?
28th.
June 28th? 2013. Just the tip of the iceberg.
And it's been going on. What he brought to light has been going on. Under the
since Bush.
So it's just
same thing happened with not same thing, but what they've been saying is that Obama said he was going to reduce this or stop this, but of course obviously he didn't. And the same thing happened to George Herbert Walker Bush. Remember, read my lips, no new taxes. But then when he gets in office, like I say, when you actually become the president, and you go, oh my God. Yeah. Remember, Reagan left this gigantic deficit. Yeah. People forget about that. They love Reagan so much. He had no choice. When he got into all the numbers, he was like, holy. What and you know what? He supported new taxes. Of course, he lost his re-election, but he did. He used the information he had to make the original comment until he saw the facts. The same thing, I'm sure Obama got in the office and said, okay, how do we, shut all this stuff down? I'm sure a couple people pulled him in and go, let me show you something. Yeah. I know what you said on the campaign trail, but let me explain this.
So you think there's that, they talk about that President's Only book diary?
The Book of Secrets.
Because this seems like that kind of information that would be probably in that club of books, that club of need to know. Because like my brother and I had the similar conversation. Though there's any corporate, even interviewing for a job, they don't tell you everything that's really happening until you get in. Then you're in, they're like, oh, by the way, we got these issues happening, we got this over here going on. Right. Then you really get the insight of really what's happening. But until then, you're on a need to know basis, and there's some things you don't need to know. There's. It's a very tough situation. It's a very tough. You see how gray he is. So
and what else? You got that. You got the Snowden. Then you have what else has been going? Something else is going wrong with him too. I think it was like 3 or 4.
All the generals. All the generals getting in trouble there.
That's a whole other thing. That's
but that adds to the.
I know what it was. It's the IRS. The
IRS scandal. So they said they targeted more though. They said the IRS is targeting more than the Tea Party.
But that didn't come out until 4 weeks after this all blew up. They should have said it in the beginning. They were targeting all those groups that were looking for not for profit, what have you, but were raising money for political campaigns, regardless of the political party.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think the government has the right to get that information if there's a potential threat? And there are two sides to this: potential threat, or just because I can, I'm going to check out Sean Dickerson's information, make sure he's legit, or just comb through it just to make sure. Do they have a right to do that? That's the fundamental question.
So if there's a kind of a tip, so that's the first part of it you asked about. If there's a tip to it, as far that there's potential that this person is doing some illegalities, then I would say you have an obligation to investigate, and vet that kind of information as far as you can take it. That's like anything else, if you have a tip that someone's robbing from your store, whether you know it to be true or not, you have to at least investigate it, right? So you have to, put whatever measures in place to figure out if this is actually a viable threat or not. To do it just because, that's if you're continually targeting certain individuals on a just because basis, you don't like somebody. I don't see that being the reason to go to those lengths. All right, so that's not a reason. I mean, that's the same situation of the driving while black, right? So DWB is just because I am driving and I'm black doesn't mean I should be pulled over. But if I'm driving while black and swerving all over the road, well, all right, now there's cause to investigate what the hell is really going on.
Well, take it to that point though. Just driving while black, but just now someone just robbed a store. Mm-hmm. It's a black male. Mm-hmm. That's all they know. He left in a car. Mm-hmm. That's all the police know. Mm-hmm. So now they're going where if he was driving 45 miles per hour away, they get a grid and they kind of go. So now they're driving down the street looking for a black male in a car that may be driving a little faster, maybe looking around. So if they pull you over then,
they better pull every other black person I see driving down the road while I'm pulled over. They better be somebody else. Better be stopping somebody else, kind of thing.
Well, they may say you're using a brake light. The whole point is it doesn't take a lot to turn a frivolous search into something that makes sense. Someone down the street was just robbed, and a person drove away in a brown car, and you're in a brown car.
Oh, see, you said I was in it. It is a car.
That actually happened to me.
Oh, what?
That actually happened to me.
Not Dr. G.
Back in the...
you weren't doctor yet then?
No. This was back in the mid-'80s. Still in college. A friend of mine, he was another basketball player. We were on our way to Atlanta to party or do whatever. And so we're about halfway through in one of these little towns, and I was driving. All of a sudden, lights come on. Officer pulls us over, and next thing we know, 2 other cop cars come up behind him.
So I told you were.
And the
2 other cop cars.
Didn't even come to the car. Infamous shine the light, and the intercom, please step out the car now, with both hands in the air. And we're college students. We're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm shaking like a leaf. Like, what in the world going on? Guns are drawn.
What?
Yes, guns are drawn. So we carefully get out, raise our hands, and put your hands on the car. Put our hands on the car, and they ease up, and then they start asking, of course, for all of your information and question us. And basically told us there was a store robbery a few minutes ago. 2 black guys had just robbed a store, and they saw us on the interstate, thought they would stop and check and see if we were the guys. That was it.
There seems to always be a store robbery. Those black guys that seem to get pulled over.
The interesting thing about that was once we got back in the car, you know, that uncomfortable silence after you've been through something like that. We couldn't say anything because we were so shaken. I mean, we're college students, and to have cop cars, you know, the glaring light, the guns drawn, and you're thinking, you know, we were to do something stupid. We were that close from probably getting shot or something. Talk about a scare situation. So I can only imagine, you know, what innocent people. You've heard the stories of guys who live in these nice neighborhoods, brothers who live in nice neighborhoods being pulled over, and you know, in some cases being accused of you're not supposed to be here.
Simple as that.
I remember I used to live in Temple Terrace, and I give them a little break because Temple Terrace in the 80s wasn't really a hotbed of crime, right? The most crime we had to deal with was kids, vandalism, you know, minor, you know, incidents. So the speeding tickets were probably the biggest thing. But it was funny how that you would consistently get the back then I wasn't old enough to drive. I was walking while black. And I remember I actually got a police officer. I thought, you know, he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going home." You know, where you live? You know, I gave him Summit West Apartments. You know, what's your apartment number? I gave it to him. And he's like, I don't know. Why don't you come over? You know, you put me in the car. He said, I'm gonna take you home. Okay. So I'm driving in the cop car, going, this is a shame. He actually thinks I'm lying. Okay. So he drove me right up to I told him how to get to my house and open the car. And that's what I said, I thought you couldn't open the car doors from inside, but I opened my own car doors. So I don't know. I remember getting out the back of the car, saying, "Thank you, officer." I put my key in the lock, you know, so he could see it. Open the lock, open the door, you know, walked in and waved goodbye and closed the door. And I thought, are you serious? Like, why couldn't I live here? You know, why was it so odd? Because I didn't just say, oh, I live, I live over there or whatever. I said the apartment and the apartment number, you know. He asked me for ID. I was like 14. I think I had my social security card on me or something. I was like, what do you, ID? Wow. I don't have ID, but I remember, and that's not the only time that happened. That's the only time I ever got a ride. Other times they would just pull up next to me and go, where you going? But because I'm walking by the golf course in the back there, sometimes I'm taking shortcuts. And I don't know, I took it as just being a part of the culture. I mean, were there a lot of blacks in Temple Terrace at that time? No. So did I probably look out of place? Probably. Do I expect police? And I guess I'm trying to circle back to your I believe Dr. G's question, but is it okay for them to
target?
And I said, you know what? All intents and purposes, it's 5 minutes out of my day, and if it prevents someone from getting robbed or hurt or whatever, as long as you give me respect and you just ask questions and I answer the questions fairly and leave me alone, it just it's just something I can accept that. Just like I can accept them kind of going into my, let's say, my emails or my texts looking for words like bomb and Al Qaeda. Because I remember that's what they're doing. They're fishing through the phone records and texts for keywords. Mm-hmm. If they hear those keywords, regardless if you're just reading something, whatever, they will pull that out and do some investigation. I don't necessarily have any problem with that, because if I don't want no one looking at my stuff, I'm not going to say. Well, now they're going to be looking at the show because we decided to sit down. Maybe we'll get some new listeners. So I think people, we because we are a free country, we jump on that when the government seems like they're getting in. But I don't know. As long as you're not, kicking in your door or detaining you. I mean, that's what they do in these other countries, quote unquote, is that they're taking you away, having discussions with you. They're not just looking at your email. So it doesn't really bother me as much.
All right. Well, before we run out of time, there are a couple more stories we have to hit.
Uh-oh.
Paula Deen.
Oh, come on now. Maybe you want some chicken.
This is an interesting story. I'm sure most folks have heard about this story. She's the Southern, well-known cook. Savannah has her restaurant in Savannah. By the way, several years ago, we were on our way to what's the community in South Carolina, golfing community, Hilton Head.
Oh, okay.
On our way to Hilton Head, we thought we'd stop and check out a restaurant. Could not get in. Mm-hmm. The line was, and we walked up and like, oh no, no way you get in here today. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So we got in our car and headed back to a Hilton Head. But she apparently used the N-word back some 20-something years ago. And came out because one of her current employees accused her of
it's like a harassing work condition.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long ago that she actually said that.
Okay. It wasn't like a recall. She didn't admit to something recent. It was saying that she had used it in the past.
Oh, okay. Used it in the past. And
now that's what she said.
But she is just catching it right now for something she did allegedly. Years and years ago. The companies are dropping her like hotcakes. But the other side of it is her fans.
I was about to say, her book sales have actually,
Amazon?
Book sales have increased by like 1,000%. I heard her restaurant is still, I think it's her son's, actually it's her son, I forget his name, but the restaurants are doing well. People are coming out to purposely to directly support her. But the practices, because this all started from the court case, right? There was a court case, and she had did a statement, right? So that the notes from that statement is what was out in public to say that yes, she did. The question came up: have you ever used the N-word? And it's like, yeah, I used to use it, back in the day, like I said. But the uproar too is about, well, yes, she said back in the day. However, if you look at the work conditions of her restaurants, there's still a sense of unfair treatment going on, even within Black people. That the purpose of light skin, this light skin, dark skin work up front, and dark skin in the back. Yep.
Holy.
So that's what they're saying is you can see that, and so. I'm not saying is what is being said is that you can see within her practice that it is she still has that that old Southern Georgia mentality of there's a lesser than element to Black people, and again, so the line is one of the lines being drawn is that using the working conditions, the working environment, to show that this may not be so long ago, that she may have admitted it on then there, but this she still may hold to these
practices in a sense, based on the
I wasn't aware of that. That's more of a problem because I was I'm not per se defend her, but what do they say? If it looks like a dog, quacks like a dog, walks like a dog, it's a duck. She is a Southern she represents the Old South. That's her old persona. Mm-hmm. That's what she's been selling over the years. That's what she's selling, right? That's so what the Old South treats African Americans in a certain way. Just it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's right. It is what it is. So I did not expect that she has different values. I never even thought about what her values were because she's just cooking food. As long as I can go to her restaurant and get the food and I get the same food everyone else gets, I was like, well, I'm not going to her house. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, so what? But you say something like that, I didn't know she was also demonstrating this in the work process. I thought, she's a Southern white lady, living in the Old South. She's probably going to be like that. She's probably not inviting me over unless I'm her gardener or that's what something like that. Yeah. So when it came out, I'm like, ooh, boy, shocking. Yeah. But now to tell me that she is actually operating her businesses like that potentially, that's definitely a problem. And that should be she should have to do something about that. Yeah. But I think
the person who's with the charge,
black
lady, and she was, and some of the other stuff that came out. One I caught my attention is it's like even the other employee, like her Paula Deen's son was even I think it was the son quoted as saying that one of the chefs, one of the cooks that are back there, they call him my little black monkey.
No.
So it's like that. So what she's talking about is the harassing culture of the environment. So
that's
not
great.
just that; it's the whole culture. Though the person who's making the claim is talking about this. This is not just one incident way back when. This is like the culture is there.
I hate when they fire them. So. I don't like firing. Remember when a guy said, nappy-headed hoes, and the first thing they did was fire him.
Oh yeah.
Of course, now he's got now he's got a new radio show on one of the Fox shows. The thing is, no. You don't fire him, but now you go. Guess what you're going to do? Because remember, you still work for me. I'm still paying you. Mm. So now I don't fire him. I go, oh boy, guess what? You're going to spend a lot of time with some black people. You're going to change this, or I will fire you. If you how they always come out and apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Blah blah blah. Well, good. You're going to show me for the next 2 years or whatever our contract is. You're going to show me like on a daily basis that you have changed. Because then now I'm influencing you. You are an influencer, right? Paula Deen, people listen to her, do what she says. So I'm going to influence you to treat black people better so that you can influence your peers to do better. I'm not going to just fire you because now I'm letting you on your own, reconnaissance and. You don't have to change now because so I don't like that. I don't like when they just fire them. I say they need to use them as tools. And if they go, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, then you fire them because then you say, look, we even tried to give them an opportunity to make this right, and they chose not to. So that's why we changed our relationship with her. So we'll see because it's not like her food has changed. Her people who work in her business might change, but she's still going to be around. She just. She won't be on the Food Network for a while, or maybe ever. I don't know. She'll go on about her life.
Well, I mean, she'll probably be on, one of the other cooking channels somewhere. So so
we're not really
like you said, like Imus. Imus got his show.
He's back on radio. Always did.
You got your boy. He's apologizing almost every couple of weeks. Rush, Limbaugh. He's always saying something crazy, but that's the market for it, right?
That's what he does. So
that's what he does.
It's disappointing anytime you see someone like that because she seems so much fun and to really bring that Southern lifestyle to the masses. But
did you see who emerged as wanting to help her out?
No. Donald Trump. No.
Wasn't Donald Trump? Think about it.
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson. Yeah, I was about to say. It's got to be
why? Jesse's doing they go, we're going to use this. You're going to pay me some money to my Rainbow Coalition, and we're going to help you reimagine yourself as a crusader for...
makes him look bad.
Because he likes fried chicken.
He's got his own issues over there. It's not his issue. His son.
Oh man.
So, there you go. Yeah, don't go into Chicago politics.
Just real quick, did you think about the legacy of Martin Luther King. I think about that sometimes, that he had these proteges or these people that were really close to him. Now, some became mayors and governors. You got one who's still in Congress. Some did.
Andrew Young was
did well per se, but it's nothing compared to what Martin did. And then you see the ones like Jesse Jackson. It's like, not him particularly, but just the whole. You see that legacy just fading away. Andrew Young's not even. I don't think even in politics anymore. We got a couple left around. They all kind of just have gone. If you look at the pictures of Martin Luther King, you see the people who stand next to him: Andrew Young, Jesse Jackson. I can't think of the one of my frat brothers is one too. I can't apologize. His last name. If you see the pictures of those 4 or 5 confidants,
but
none's ever come out of that.
But you know what happened? It became about them as opposed to the cause. And with Dr. King, it was all about the cause. He probably could care less about him and his glory and etc. Well, heck, he wasn't here long enough to even
to enjoy
enjoy that.
Did he get his Peace Prize, and then he died like the next year, 2 years from now? So it's sad. Well, just a little side note, because I've been thinking about that lately. Like, wow, who's going to pick up the mantle if anyone will?
So one last thing I have on my list, the Supreme Court rulings. Two major
ones
related to the Defense of Marriage Act, same-sex marriage. So one ruling was that same-sex couples now can get federal benefits. So that for them is
big win,
huge. And then they didn't strike down the California same-sex marriage deal. So now they are basically saying it's okay if states want to allow this to happen. Go for it. So they didn't say, states, you cannot have the ability to, stop this. So I can imagine.
Just a win and a loss, I guess you would say.
I think it's a win-win.
No, win-win.
They said
because that proposition says you couldn't do it.
But I thought you said they support. They said they struck it down.
They're saying that it's okay.
It's unconstitutional. Like they're taking that prop out. Basically, they're knocking that proposition out, saying it's.
Okay. I thought they were keeping it.
Same-sex couples can get married, and so from the DOMA side, the Defense of Marriage Act is they can also get the benefits.
Gotcha. Okay.
Notice,
so win-win. Okay. I didn't know.
Definitely a win-win.
Okay.
For
that's good.
Same-sex couples, but as they say, another person talked about the idea of. Same rights, same problems kind of thing. So, marriage, it's still a lot of work. And so then you start talking about divorces, and it's going to be so that's another new market for lawyers.
And did you see the craziness that it was before? Let's say you get married in Massachusetts because you can, but then you move to Georgia,
which doesn't recognize it, right?
Then you get a divorce. There is no divorce because you're not married in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, that would have been a mess. That'd be a mess. So
they tell me we need to move back to Massachusetts.
Before we So it
says the person who actually wants a divorce.
Right, exactly. It's a mess.
The person who don't say I ain't moving because it's half Eddie. But and then the affirmative action piece. That's
what? No.
So they just punt it basically. The Supreme Court, who was job or what folks were hoping is that they were going to make a ruling on the Texas case. So there's a affirmative action lawsuit, actually more reverse discrimination, I believe what it is. The white person
she couldn't
saying that she couldn't get to the get into school because of affirmative action. So it's reverse discrimination, and so the ruling went all the way up to Supreme Court. Supreme Court saying that we're going to send this back down to you guys to figure this out. So, but. You got the opinions that are written, and your boy Clarence Thomas.
He's the man.
He's an interested man. I don't know if he is the man, but he's an interested man. He's knocking down affirmative action, which is not his first time too. So
I
don't know if you remember the Michigan case was a very similar thing, and he came out and said that it wasn't something that is needed and has been long saying that affirmative action is not needed anymore. Even though it, he saw benefits from it, from affirmative action, but he also denounces it in a certain way, talking about how he got his Yale law degree, but probably without affirmative action wouldn't have been able to get it at that particular time. But he says it kind of, in his words, tainted his degree for getting it.
Because that's how he got in.
Because this assumption is that's how he got in. It wasn't on his value and his merit. So he said that because of that, it's also, although I got in, it didn't really help me. Although he is Supreme Court Justice.
There you go. Yeah, this is oxymoron, but I'm saying it.
So but
So
there's a lot of he's getting a lot of flack for his comments as well.
So the one way of looking at this, and apparently he's not looking at it from this perspective, but without that help, they may have denied him the opportunity to get into school. They deny him the opportunity to get into school. He goes somewhere else, may not have the same opportunity, same benefit. He may not be sitting on the bench right now. So, for him to say it didn't help him, and for him to say it tainted, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks feel that way, just not buying it.
No.
There are the Uncle Toms of the world.
Oh, no, you didn't call him Uncle Tom.
Clarence Uncle Tom Thomas. I got in there. In the essence, and we talk about mentoring. The idea is with mentoring, you're supposed to be, lifting up, opening the doors, and just not even open them. If you can blow them off the hinges, that's what you're supposed to do to help others who, and it's not. And from my perspective, it's not to say that any and everybody gets in. The individuals coming in, you better do work too. You got to perform. You got to come in and not just Part of it is showing up, but you got to work when you're there. It's working and showing up. So not just to show up, but leaving those doors open so that others can come through and do well and have the opportunity to do well. I think is our mandate of those who are doing well, but to go in and start not only shutting doors but then building new wings for doors, and secret codes and stuff is that who does that really? So you look at who does that benefit? I think there's just some other back stuff we're not seeing that's really happening or potentially happening of some other things that are going on. The protecting of the old guard is what's happening. So.
And it could be just like I said about the presidents, and you only know what you know. When you become president, all these other secrets come to you, and it may change your viewpoint or your what you do. Maybe when Clarence got in there, they put him in a little room and go, let me explain something to you.
This is how it goes down. This is how it goes down. And then you either choose to accept or you can also go against.
Right.
So, you can, it's a life appointed position, so what's to stop him from, just throwing up both middle fingers and doing what really is the right thing to do. And supportive of, so that hopefully we get to a point where affirmative action isn't needed, but we're not there.
No,
I don't think we're there. So.
But I still, even though this is very, very off the wall, but it is potential. Remember, I told you back in the day when we talked about Donald Trump and how he just was getting really crazy with the Obama thing. So much so that he was almost looking clownish, just really making the Republicans and the conservatives look crazy. What I thought was that he might have been doing it to help Obama, because when he came out there and made it, because all the other crazies come out and he's kind of leading the crazies and making them look ridiculous. And I'm like, it's helping Obama more than hurting him. Maybe that's his thing,
He's flipping script on.
And so sometimes
is that the Jedi mind trick?
Yeah. So I'm
saying Jedi mind trick.
Sometimes I wonder if Clarence Thomas is just. They expect me to say this. They're ready. They're ready for that. They're ready for me to, support affirmative action and all that. I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm still going to be in the news. It's still going to come up. It still will be. Remember, you said they punted on it. It's not like they voted it down or whatever. So maybe I'm just going to look like what they want me to look like, but I'm still serve my purpose. I can only hope. But it could be a point. It could be what he's doing.
Wow. Interesting. Well, guys, we covered a lot, and the majority of these stories are just the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I'd imagine when we get together for our next show, we will have a lot of updates. And I'm particularly curious as to what's going to happen with the Trayvon Martin case. So we will keep our eyes and ears open for the outcome of that. I'm predicting he'll go down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's going to jail.
There'll be an unbelievable uproar.
If not, I just don't know.
They get trips to Disney anytime soon. There's going to be some fires going on.
That's a fact.
I actually have relatives that live in Sanford, Florida. So
yeah, I got cousin-like relatives there. So.
Yeah.
I don't know Sanford. Even though I'm born and raised here, I don't really know Sanford that well. So I don't know what kind of community it is.
I've been through there. It's well, I mean, it's like any place else. You know, there's good, bad, and ugly. So.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right. It's been good. It's good to see you back all to get the band back together.
Absolutely.
Good. So you can always hit us up, Twitter, Facebook, the CC Trio. Catch us, and if you got stories you want to talk about or you want to hit us back with some comments out there, by all means, feel free to leave them, and we'll get them on the air. All right.
Peace.
For
next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed another edutaining episode of Community Conversations with the Trio. To keep the conversation going, stay connected with us by visiting cctrio.com and following us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. Community Conversations with the Trio. Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael